Welcome people to the World Wide Web, and if you're watching this video, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you're with your families and having a nice time, getting a little bit into the spirit. We'll throw it for you there. So this video, it's Christmas Day, you're all with your family, but I know everybody needs a break, so I thought I'd drop this one. So this is my top 5 movies of 2023. I have done 2 requirements for this. So the film has to be released in 2022 and I have to have seen it, which is a bit stupid. I can't really rate a film if I've not seen it. I've not put these in any order, so what I've done is written them on a bit of, no, maybe I should not have that, Garfield, but yeah, so I've written them on a bit of paper and put them here, and all I do is I'll pick them out at random and then say that. I'm not going to rank them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it's all subjective and stuff. But yeah, these are my overall. It has been a bit of an up and down year movie wise. I haven't seen everything I've wanted to, so who knows? I may have a amendment, but this, as far as I am concerned, is my top 5. So we shall get going. I'll do a little bit about each film, but I'll try and not do spoilers, and I'll try and not give too much away. So, first one. So, hopefully if you can see this, I'll probably end up ripping it. Okay, so probably no one's there if you can kind of see that. So it says Maverick. So, bit of a no-brainer for this, maybe if you've seen it, if you haven't. Top Gun, rewatched it recently, building up to this film. It's a good film. Maybe not. Maybe nostalgia plays into a lot of people. I don't think it's really great, but it's good. But the premise is it's flight school. Maverick, just whatever you say about Tom Cruise, this obviously was a passion project. There is so much that links to the original one. The characters that are there, they didn't just throw a new love interest in there. She is referencing the original film, and potentially there was stuff going around that maybe Jennifer Connelly would have even auditioned for this role, or maybe was even considered for it. So that aspect of it's good. My only bad point of this is that they didn't have the original actor who played Goose. They didn't have him in it as another role, just sneakily. But that's just personal preference for me. But yes, so yeah, Maverick. I mean, I cannot praise it. I mean, if you like the first one, second one is brilliant. In my mind, it's better because it has the flight school, but you have a mission and you put it on. I really feel that he's peaked at this because it's taken so long, and I really hope they don't make a third. But there we go. So Maverick, I'll put a poster up on each one so you can see this. So let's go for movie number 2. Obviously not ranked in any order, but yeah. Obviously, if you disagree with this, or is there anything I've missed, please do put it in the comments. I love watching films and going to the cinema as much as I can do. If I've missed something, and I know there are a few films that I have wanted to see that I haven't had a chance to, that will probably come out on DVD or maybe on one of the streaming channels next year, so hopefully I'll get to watch them. So any recommendations is fine. So if you couldn't tell, so this unfortunately bonked out one of them. So this is Avatar: Way of the Water, if you can read this. If you follow my channel, you will see that I posted a video about it. This was the last film I had to watch of this year going into it, and I had my top 5 and this wasn't in there, and unfortunately this knocked one of them out, but I will mention a few mentions at the end of it. So yeah, again, a bit like Maverick. Many years have gone by, it's a passion project for the person doing it, they just take their time, and it works really, really well. I mean, and I can't praise Avatar more enough, just visual wise, and just the storytelling and the story building, and and he has got a good head on him. Don't get me wrong, there are movies and stuff he's been in and they're rubbish, or the sequels and stuff haven't been as good, but I think with Avatar he has just excelled in it. It's out now, so I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would get behind it. Be it that's number 2, or the second movie I should say. Probably shouldn't put numbers up if I'm not ranking them, is it? A bit stupid. Let's do this. Okay, so this might be a bit of one. So this is Black Phone, if you can see it. I don't think they're coming through quite well on the camera, so apologies. So yeah, Black Phone was a bit of a curveball for me. I'd seen a bit of the trailer. Ethan Hawke obviously goes around kidnapping kids. Thriller mixed with a little bit of supernatural elements in there. And an interesting fact, obviously this is written by Stephen King's son. Didn't know he had a son. Didn't know he wrote like horror, thriller, suspense. But this is really works well. Obviously it's I think in the 80s and kids go missing, and it focuses around this one main kid, and then the kind of story of him trying to escape and the people on the manhunt basically for the people who have kidnapped him and how it all links in. And there's some good twists and turns. There's a few bits that people might think, oh well, that will never happen, but for quite a kind of small film, and Ethan Hawke, seen as it does very, very well in a character that he plays of the kind of stalkery person. But yeah, all the elements are kind of there, and I say it's a bit of an oddball one, and in a time where superhero movies flood, and I am a big superhero fan. My favourite team are the Thunderbolts, which come out in 2 years' time, so I'm quite glad they're getting one. But yeah, you do get oversaturated with Marvel, DC, The Boys, Umbrella Academy. There are ones I like, but sometimes it's just nice to have a few other films on there. And who's to say there isn't one in this 5? So, okay. So we should go. So 2 more. I'm going to go with this one. Okay. The Batman. As I just said, we are oversaturated with a lot of movie ones, but there has been so much of Batman. You've had like Tim Burton's kind of pop-esque, I would say, and not that era is a little, he's not the dark, mysterious character he is compared to Nolan's one, or kind of the playful, shall we say, TV series. This is kind of Batman year 2, I think, as he phrased it. He's only been Batman like 18 months, and he's just learning to find his way in the world. The world is very gritty and raw, and there are just simple elements of that. He can wrap up in a coat and a baseball cap because he's Bruce Wayne, and he doesn't really go out, and he doesn't have that playboy side, and he can just sneak within like the dark streets, and he's going to learn to Batman the same way that some bloke later on points a shotgun at him and he runs full blare into it, takes it, and is quite hurt by it. It's these mistakes and these flaws that I think make the superhero characters more realistic or relatable, which is obviously a big thing when you are doing the films. A very long film I look forward to. Wasn't the biggest fan of Catwoman. That's probably my only downside on it. I don't know. I don't think necessarily character, but then like the villains and stuff, and the Penguin, Colin Farrell was amazing. Like you could never tell it's him in that makeup. But yeah, don't want to give too much away. But I thought it was a really good film. It's really good to take a different angle of Batman, a different aspect that we haven't really seen, and just slowly start to build the world. And I really look forward to, I think they have commissioned the second one, so it's good. So, final one. You'll be glad I think that is the only superhero one I have on my list, so because I've not rated quite a lot of the other ones, but anyway, it's my one. And this one, so Where the Crawdads Sing. So this was quite helpful, and this was probably the first film that followed a idea by one of my friends. And it's moved. So I watch a lot of films, as you can see behind me, 4,000 DVDs. This is only anime movies downstairs, and it's a lot predictable. And I always use this one with trailers. I try to not watch the trailers from now on because he runs a comic shop, and he said he doesn't want to watch the trailers, he doesn't want to ruin it. There's stuff in there, and I kind of agree with him. A few years ago, they did a sequel to Independence Day. Spoiler alert if you've seen that film. But anyway, in the trailer, there's a massive one of the like kind of alien queens smashing through an airfield and blowing stuff up and that. And like the first third of the film, they're in space and I think they tried to blow up the spaceship. It's been a few years since I've seen it. And then like, oh yeah, we won, we've saved the planet. And if you've watched any of the trailers, you'll literally know, well, there's a massive scene in there where she lands on Earth and blows up this airfield. So A, she's like not dead. B, they get to Earth and stuff like that. I was like, because it's quite prominent in the trailers, it's like, well, that's ruined it for me. So I've tried to pull back on it. So Where the Crawdads Sing. Didn't see the trailer, didn't even know about the film. It came out, my friend saw it, really liked it. I was like, all she said was, there's a murder in a swamp. Fine, went to see it. Brilliant film. It's based on a book. I've not read the book, so I can't compare it to that. But yeah, it's the trial of tribulations of this girl that they believe has done this crime, and then you basically go through the court case on one hand, and then on the other side you kind of go through her life from a child upwards to see what she's been through, and then it all connects into. I'm not going to say what happens or anything like that, but I say really good film. I would recommend it definitely. It wasn't one I was expecting. This is maybe why expectations were low. But yeah, it was really, really good, and I'm very much finding, I don't know if it was the movies that I brought up on, say if this was you, or hopefully it's helped, or if you're in the same mindset, I should say, as me, rather than grabbing it along, is that I've learned that as you grow up and over time, like Home Alone and movies were so much better, or when there was not technology involved, like, and I think you've seen it all over the internet, you know, Kevin's at home, if he had a phone, Mum, I'm lost, that's it, you know. But in that time you could build, because technology wasn't there wasn't drones and there wasn't all this stuff, and movies that go back to an era when there isn't much technology and it's a bit more elements and that stuff, I find are really good, and I'm actually drawn a little bit more to now. So yeah, so that is obviously my top 5 movies of 2022. Hopefully you've watched them and like them. Hopefully maybe you've not, one or two you might not have seen, and this has spurred you on. Also, 3 quick mentions of, so there was 3 other films I saw, like a little bit of standout for me. 2 at the cinema, 1 on home streaming. So the first one is recently The Menu. So Ralph Fiennes as a chef on an island. I only saw 1 trailer because I was trying to not watch a trailer, or I only actually saw 1 for this, but that was because I was in the cinema. You can't really get away from it. The trailer doesn't necessarily give away what the film's about, and it does twist a bit, and I actually quite liked it. It's a lot of actors, or a lot of fairly famous people in there and stuff like that, or you recognise them from other stuff. And yeah, that's really good. So, I mean, I would watch a trailer or see a glimpse if it takes your fancy, definitely, because I think you will be surprised. So that was the first one. The second one, so the one that unfortunately Avatar bunked off it, is Elvis. So I can honestly say, hand on heart, I'm not a big Elvis fan, not a big fan of his music, but the biographies I've seen, like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man and stuff like that, have done so well. You know, they've been done, the actors, the casting and everything, that I went to watch this, and to be honest, it was a really good film. Like, if you don't know anything about Elvis, it definitely sheds a different light on his story, and you learn about his life. And, you know, even I think his daughter is quoted of saying that this is the most realistic one. Now, she's a very young kid, probably like 3 or 4, but from most of her character being in this. So how much of that actually relates to what she remembers or what she's been told. But yeah, it is, I mean, if even like piques your interest, I said it is a very worthwhile film, you know, and it is very good on that side. So that's 2. So the third one that was even a surprise to me, so this was a home watch and it was only a few days ago, is a movie called Fall. For all these, I'll put trailer, you'll probably see the trailer pop up there. So yeah, so 2 girls basically go to climb this tower. It's kind of loosely, or there are some events that have happened in real life that kind of mirrors, and then they get stuck. So, and it's the story, and it, like, you'd think it is one of those films, there's 2 people stuck in the tower, there's, you know, they have a few interactions with animals and people and stuff, but it actually really pulled me in. I'm quite surprised. I saw the trailer for this at the cinema and was like, man, that's going to be rubbish. And then I had a voucher for an online site. It was on my list because I was interested. I watched it. I was actually quite surprised. It is a really good film, and a very interesting one, because I like to read up on stuff. So, random fact that I'll throw in at the end of the film. For the trailer, not trailer, so the poster that I'll stick up again, the poster's actually wrong, which is why you can never really trust anything. So on it, you see the brown hair girl on top when the blonde hair girl falling and the ladder coming off. Actually, the girls are the other way around in the film. Funny fact, just it is, you know, probably most people don't care, but I thought it was quite interesting to know that, you know, they can look it up. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. You know, hopefully this spurs you on to watch movies or get more into it, or even if you learn something, or recommendations for me. I'm more than happy to watch anything, and I literally mean anything. But otherwise, if you're watching this live, obviously have a nice rest of Christmas Day with your family and friends, and hopefully everything goes well. Be safe and be, you know, happy to each other, and in these bleak times of strikes and cost of rising and stuff like that, just be good to each other. But anyway, it's Cypher Sigma signing out.